Okay folks, what we're going to show you how to do today is how to install a decal or over laminate on top of an existing sign for valet waste. Okay, basically what you're going to have is obviously your new decal, a rag with a little bit of just regular rubbing alcohol or any kind of cleaner that we can wipe the sign down with, a spray bottle with a little bit of soapy water, just a little bit of dish soap, a few drops per ounce of liquid, not a lot. We don't want a strong solution because we want this to stick well. We're going to use this so we can position the new decal a little bit and work with it, and then basically just your credit card or a driver's license or anything to squeegee out some bubbles. So basically what we're going to do is just going to take some rubbing alcohol or any kind of good cleaner. We're going to give the sign a wipe. We're going to be careful not to wipe onto the wall because usually in these apartment complexes the paint might be a little bit faded. If you wipe over it, it will make that wipe spot clean and new and fresh, and it will look pretty rough. So you can just go around the edge. The decal is not going to go completely to the edge of the sign. It's just going to cover our green border. So just get it, sort of carefully. Give it a good wipe so it's nice and clean. Let it dry up. It dries relatively quick, and then we're going to go ahead and put our decal on. Now, you'll get your decal rolled up. It's basically cut to shape. The corners around it, and it should fit just right over this in a perfect world. A couple of basic things you want to make sure you don't do. We'll go over some mistakes real quick. One is don't get the backing paper on the decal wet. Anytime you get a backing paper on any kind of decal wet, they will separate, and when you try to peel it, you'll be left with bits and pieces of backing paper. Also, when you peel this, you want to make sure you don't let it flop over and stick to itself. Sometimes having a second person is helpful, but you can definitely do this by yourself. And again, don't use too much soap in the water. If you do, then we're not going to get good adhesion of the decal. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and carefully peel this backing paper, and we can start to spritz it down a little bit as we go so it doesn't stick to itself, but you want to definitely work quickly at that point so you don't end up with the backing paper getting wet. And then basically what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure we've got this nice and wet down, and this is the easiest and simplest way to do this. It's for the most part foolproof. I mean, not that I haven't messed one or two of these up in my day, but it's the easiest way that if something does go wrong, you can definitely fix it. You can spritz down the sign as well because we're not worried about it being too wet, but if it sticks and it doesn't work out, that's not good. So basically what you'll be able to do is position this pretty much right where you need it to be, and you should have plenty of working time because of the soapy water. And you can move it side to side and get it exactly where you need it before it's going to start to stick. If it's sticking too much on you, use a little bit more spritz, a little bit more spray. And if it doesn't end up sticking enough, we may have an issue that there's too much soap in the water. Grab your driver's license or whatever you happen to have handy and just squeegee out all of the water. Don't have to push real hard. We're just looking to get the bulk of it out. Some of these decals may have a protective laminate over the top of them. Some of them may not. A trick that we do sometimes in trade is we take a little piece of masking tape or something and we fold it over the edge so it's a little protected so we don't get any scuffs. But if you have a laminated decal, it won't matter at all. The laminate will protect the artwork. If you have an unlaminated decal, which you probably won't know the difference, but it could potentially give you a couple of scratches in the artwork because the artwork sometimes takes a while to cure because of how aggressive these inks are for outdoor purposes. Okay, once you have that done, that's basically the gist of it. Just take a rag, wipe off your the soapy solution so it doesn't leave any kind of residue or spotting. make sure you do not use the same rag that you use to clean it off, the one that has the alcohol in it or the cleaning solution. That will, until this is completely cured, that will hurt these graphics if it's unlaminated. So fresh, clean rag, nice and clean, just give it a wipe, and it is done. Ta-da! That is the end of it. You can walk away, and thank you very much for watching. Okay, so one little detail we definitely want to address here is if you run into a situation where you have washers on your screws that are holding the sign to the wall and it encroaches on the area where the decal is going to go, we're going to show you how to deal with that. Now, if your sign is in a concrete wall or a stucco wall, usually it's going to be installed with what's called Tapcon screws, concrete screws, and you don't want to remove those because usually once they come out, they won't go back in because the hole just strips out because it's crumbly, soft concrete. So we want to address this without removing it. If this is attached to wood siding or wood building or something with just regular wood screws, you could potentially take this down, but really not necessary. So all you're going to do, you're going to do everything as you had already done. You're going to squeegee this basically up into the corner, and you're going to take your driver's license and just going to sort of work it gently around the rivet. Now once you have done that, you're going to take a razor blade, a razor knife, some type of razor knife of some sort, and you can pretty much just probably cut right around that if you're careful. If that scares you a little bit, you can put your driver's license or credit card up against it and use it as a guide so you don't touch it. But we've already cut this, and basically that's the end result of it. You make sure it's tucked tight into there and all good to go, and that is the end. Thank you.